I want to show how to add or subtract polynomials, and it's actually an easy thing to do because the rule is you can only combine two what we call like terms. In other words, that the variables and the exponents match. If they don't match, you can't add them or subtract them. So for example, here in A, I have 2x cubed minus 3x to the fourth plus x plus, that's the first polynomial, plus 3x to the fifth minus 2x to the fourth minus x plus 11. Okay, so when I'm adding these together, all I have to do is find the matches. So for example here, I have an x to the fourth in both things, and I have an x to the first power in both things. Those can add together. Everything else has to be left alone. So for example, when I add these together, I'm going to start with the highest power. I start with a 3x to the fifth. Now I'll move on to the x to the fourths. I have a negative 3x to the fourth and a negative 2x to the fourth. Right, so those combine together to give me negative 5x to the fourth. Then moving on down in the powers, I have a 2x cubed. Then x to the first powers, I have a positive x and a negative x. Those are going to add up to 0. And then I have a constant of 11. So the addition of these two polynomials results in another polynomial that looks like this. Moving on to part B, I have y to the 11th power plus y to the 4th minus 2y to the 5th minus, so I'm subtracting a polynomial of y to the 11th minus y cubed plus 2y to the 4th. It works the exact same way. The only thing that I warn is when you're subtracting a polynomial, you have to remember that this negative sign is being distributed across all the terms. So what I advise my students to do is to go ahead and make this a plus instead of a negative, and flip all the signs. And that way you don't make a routine arithmetic error that I see so often because they're just not paying attention. It's easy to do. Okay, so now when I combine like terms, let's see, I have a y to the 11th and a negative y to the 11th. Those add up to 0. Then I have a y to the 4th minus 2y to the 4th, so that becomes a negative 1y to the 4th. I have a negative 2 to the 5th, 2 times y to the 5th, and then I have a positive y cubed. Now, I didn't notice the y to the 5th power, so typically you want to write that first in what we call descending order. But it doesn't really matter. This is the same polynomial. It doesn't matter what order you add the terms together. This could be your answer, or the other one as well. I hope this makes sense. Adding and subtracting polynomials is not too difficult, but it is very important. And I also encourage you to make sure to keep your work as neat as possible, because it's very easy to make arithmetic errors when you're doing this, and that often leads to frustration. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to help, and thanks for watching.